The movie begins with Geralt. He picks up a leaf to smell it. When his friend Jaskier asked him if he's going to eat that, he replied that he is starving but not that starving. He is tracking the scent of a monster. It is a monster called a Lanarax, a monster who is incredible at climbing rocks and swimming. Just during the search, the Lanarax emerged out of the mountains and attacks Geralt. Although the monster's size, Geralt showed a badass skill in this fight, combining it with magic. The Lanarax takes him inside the ocean to suffocate him, but Geralt still gives it a tough fight. When the monster sees fire on his palm, it decided to run, realizing it can't win this fight, but Geralt uses his magic to freeze the ocean water and traps it. Just when he is about to finish off the monster, a family of mermaids shows up to beg for mercy on behalf of the monster. Geralt tells them he was hired to kill the monster because this isn't the first time it's attacking the village, but the mermaids explains that the monster meant no harm, it doesn't eat humans but animals, so its only crime was that it was hungry. Geralt decided to let the Lanarax go, and asked the mermaids to give him a ride back to land. Inside the ocean, a very serious meeting is held among the sea creatures. All the sea animals complain to their king that even their children cannot eat, all because of the humans, and they even hired a witcher to kill the Lanarax, a sea creature like them. They demand for a war from their king because it seems the humans are in control over their way of lives, but the king believes maintaining peace with the humans is the best option for now. One of the sea creature believe the king is acting too soft because their daughter is in love with a human prince called a Glovel. After a very loud protest from all the sea creatures, the queen decided to take their proposals into consideration, but their daughter Sheenas doesn't agree with this, because she believes her marriage with a Glovel could bring peace and not conflict with humans. Mulazina, a sister to the queen, shows up to agree with Sheenas. She also believes war isn't the answer but a wedding, but the king remains hesitant that their daughter can never marry a human. During their argument, we get to find out a lot about Mulazina. She was a traitor and she's the person the king fell in love with first. When Mulazina reminded the queen about that, she furiously sends her away. At the bar, Jaskier wonders why he changed his mind on killing the Lanarax, but Geralt replies that the creature didn't kill anyone, and the humans might actually be the villains in this whole case. The barkeeper gives them some beer and meat, but later takes it away because they can't afford the meal. This leaves Jaskier frustrated because Geralt is a monster hunter with a moral code. It is a code of killing monsters who only hurt humans, and that code has made them broke. Geralt tells him they can get coin from somewhere other than this town, but Jaskier reminds him that the main reason they came to this town is to avoid running into his witch ex-girlfriend. The scene takes us to a flashback. Geralt was in a relationship with a witch called Yennefer, the first woman he fell in love with. Back to the present, just as they are pushed out of the bar, a man from the palace shows up to give Jaskier a job in the palace, because he is a talented guitarist and a bard. The man is in charge of tomorrow's festival, and the king will be there, so he wants a fancy bard like Jaskier to put up a good show. Just as they attends the festival, Jaskier reunited with an old friend of his called Essie. She was the one who begged Druhart to give him the job at the festival. He introduced her to Geralt, and the way they shake hands for long, it's obvious they are beginning to like each other. We find out Jaskier and Essie grew up together, right here in Bremervoort. Back when Jaskier was a child, he used to be bullied a lot. Jaskier doesn't know how to swim and the bullies knows about this, and pushed him inside the river to make him suffer. Just when he survived that, they tried to choke him to death. That was when Essie showed up to stop the bullies. This was when Jaskier and Essie met for the first time. Jaskier is so pissed off when one of the bullies called Zelist broke his guitar, and when he insulted him, Zelist tries to finish him off, but Essie sends him to the ground with a punch. Geralt asks them what later happened to the bully Zelist. Jaskier reveals he was the king bastard's son, and guesses he might have probably died of syphilis. Just during their discussion, a trumpet is blown, announcing the arrival of the king. The king's name is revealed to be Ysfelt, and his son's name is a Glovel. Jaskier is shocked when he saw Zelist as the commander. He is that person that bullied Jaskier in his childhood. He was appointed as the military advisor by Prince Aglovel. The people whispers bad talks about their king. Essie tells Geralt that the people are this way because there have been 5 attacks on divers in the last few months and no one has been held accountable. Essie believes the mermaids are responsible for the divers' killings, because they are notoriously territorial, but the royals won't retaliate because Prince Aglovel is in love with the mermaid princess. Just as the festival dance begins, Geralt goes outside to catch some air. The scene suddenly changes to show us some set of divers who packed a lot of shells and fishes from the ocean, which they planned to sell, but some mermaids shows up and killed every one of them. During the festival, a very beautiful human princess is brought and suggested for the prince to marry. One of the divers who managed to survive but brutally injured, managed to reach the festival to inform the king on what happened before he died. The king has no other choice but to go on a war with the mermaids, but Commander Zelist gives the king a better option. He wants the king to send Geralt the Witcher to find the mermaid that did it and kill it. Geralt knows if he doesn't agree, a war will commerce between the humans and mermaids, so he decided to accept the task to prevent one. Just as Jaskier and Geralt camp for the night, during their discussion, Geralt always brings up Essie's name. Jaskier realizes that Geralt likes Essie, and wants him to date her because she's a good woman, unlike that raven-haired serpent-tongued she-demon he formerly dated. The next morning, just as Geralt wakes up from a nightmare, he gets attacked by a Vodnik, a clan of sea creature. The Vodnik is so skillful that even Geralt himself had a hard time to defeat. Quickly, he drinks a portion that enhances his strength, making him to defeat the creature brutally, but he allows it to escape. Jaskier asks him why he decided to spare even a creature that almost killed him, but Geralt replies that he let it go because it's more help to him alive than dead. There are blood stains of the Vodnik on the floor, and Geralt plans to use its blood to track it to its den, so he will find the others. Geralt notices someone following them, and when he tries to attack, he discovers the person is Essie. She wants to follow them because she wants to help stop the war. On the other hand, King Ysfelt talks to his son about Mary Sheen as the mermaid girl. He explains to his son that marriage is not only about love but it's about duty. His life doesn't just belong to him, but belongs to his kingdom. A Glovel tells him he is thinking about the kingdom, and their union has the potential to bring peace to land and sea, but King Ysfelt tries to make his son understand that it's just impossible, because where would he be living after marrying a mermaid? Or what offspring would he produce? At the seashores, a Glovel and Sheena share some romantic moment together. Just as they talk, Sheena sees the Witcher heading towards the Vodnik den, and leaves the prince to go warn her people. Geralt sees the Vodnik that attacked him, and pinned it to the ground for questions. He asks the Vodnik who sent it to kill him, but the Vodnik replies the person who sent it will kill him if he says a word. Just as the Vodnik is about to confess the name of the person that sent it, Commander Zelist shows up with his soldiers and kills it with his spear. Geralt is so pissed off with what he did, because he is trying his best to stop a war between humans and sea creatures, but he seemed to be pushing for it. The Vodnik attacks Commander Zelist and his men, leading to a bloody battle. The mermaids also join the fight to assist the Vodniks. One of the Vodnik tries to suffocate Essie under the water, but Geralt dives in and uses his magic to rescue her. Geralt threatens Commander Zelist to leave or he will kill the only real monster he sees. Meanwhile, one of the siren gets brutally injured. It happens to be the cousin of the mermaid queen. Mullazina believe the humans are trying to distract Sheena's from her job in protecting the seas, but Sheena's believes a Glovel isn't responsible for the attack. Zelist must have acted on his own. She tries to use her healing powers to stop the bleeding, but he dies. After Essie bandaged Geralt wounds, Jaskier suggests they should go speak to the prince and the mermaid girl to get the truth from the source. They meet at the seashores every morning, so they decided to rest and go in the morning. Geralt worried that humans aren't looking for truths, they might simply be looking for ways to exterminate the sea creatures. Why? The humans are looking for shortcuts in making money, and selling shells underneath the ocean can make them rich, but the sea creatures are just an obstacle to them. The next morning, they meet with the prince and the mermaid princess. Geralt asks her if she was the one who sent the Vodnik to kill him, but she answers that she had no hand in that. The mermaid princess suddenly begin to suspect Commander Zelist, because right when the Vodnik was about to confess the name of the person that sent it, that was when Commander Zelist shows up and killed it. Prince Aglovel and the mermaid princess suddenly gets into an argument, as Aglovel is in full support of Commander Zelist's actions, but the princess isn't happy about this because Aglovel is defending the person that killed her cousin. Out of anger, the prince insults her, saying he cannot believe he fell for her. Tears rolled out from her eyes as she dives back into the ocean. While a burial is held for the prince's cousin, in lands, Commander Zelist is busy taking children from their mothers and enlisting them into the army to fight the sea creatures. The Mermaid King begins training his soldiers to prepare them for the battle, and same goes for the humans. They train day and night in a very brutal manner. Even though Sheena's feelings for the human prince have changed, she doesn't still want the war because lives are going to be lost. Mullazina gives Sheena's a portion that can allow her to take a human form, believing in that way, she will not only be with the human prince, but she will also be able to convince them to stop the war, but secretly, Mullazina has an evil plan of her own. Meanwhile, Geralt, Essie, and Jaskier found the dead bodies of the divers. They see a necklace worn only by the mermaid royal family. Essie believes it to be the mermaid queen responsible for the deaths of the divers. Geralt decided to head back to the castle and report this to the king. He tells the king that a mermaid royal is responsible for the killings, but he believes the mermaid king, queen, and princess isn't responsible for this, but it was a creature who took the shape of a kraken to do the work of 10 Vodnik. He reveals the person responsible for this was the queen's sister, Mullazina, because she is the only one among the mermaid royals that can shapeshift and make portions. He reveals she is even present right in front of them, because the human princess the king have been pestering Prince Aglovil to marry is no other person but Mullazina. Mullazina suddenly changes to a real form, and after a fight, she escaped out of the window. The king reveals to have known about this, as he doesn't want the marriage between his son and the mermaid princess to work out, even if it means forming an alliance with Mullazina. He wants to start a war with the mermaids. Commander Zealous decided to stop serving the king for what he did, and even Aglovil hates him for that. He orders his guards to arrest Geralt and his crew along with Zealous, and asked his soldiers to prepare for war. Before the king begins the war, he decided to firstly kill the Witcher, but since a Witcher doesn't fear pain or even death, he decided to hurt Geralt in other ways, by murdering his friends in front of him. Just as they tried to first execute Zealous, he throws a back fleet, making Geralt and his crew also begin a fight for their freedom. Just as they get surrounded by the king's army, the mermaid princess comes to their rescue, by using water to sweep the king's men away. As a war between the humans and the sea creatures finally begins, as we see them killing one another in a bloody battle. Mullazina shows up and transforms into a gigantic kraken. She kills Zealous by ripping him apart, and sends the Vodniks under her to kill the Witcher, while she goes after the princess. Mullazina captures the princess, who asked her why she's doing all this. Mullazina tells the princess that being the queen was supposed to be her position, but when she wasn't able to bear a child for the king decided to marry her junior sister Dod, which resulted to her. She wanted to kill Shinas and take the throne for herself. Just as Mulsina is about to kill her, Prince Aglovil shows up. He tries to save Shinas, but he gets defeated by a Vodnik who attempted to kill him, but the king saves him and pushes him to another boat. Geralt kills as many Vodniks as possible, and then cuts off Mullazina's hand to save Princess Shinas. King Yusfelt cuts of the tail of Shinas and pushes her inside the ocean to kill her, because she wouldn't be able to swim without her tail. On the other hand, just as Geralt battles against Mullazina, Essie throws a sword to him and he flies with it inside Mullazina's stomach. He sliced her stomach from the inside, bringing out all her guts, then finishes her by impaling his sword inside her brain. We all thought Shinas was killed, but it is revealed she managed to survive, thanks to her mother, who also has the ability to heal. Prince Aglovil tells the surviving soldiers that the mermaids are not their enemies, but they have only been tricked and misled by those they trusted. He decides to end the war and promises peace to reign among their kinds. The movie ends as Prince Aglovil decided to get married to Shinas. He took a portion that turned him to a mermaid so he can be with her. And that was how the movie ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.